Well, House of the Dragon is still dragging along, giggled Tee-hee. Um, this episode would have to be the most disturbing, which, of course, uh, is saying something, especially, well, I mean, I suppose not surprisingly, considering the content of Game of Thrones and all that went on there. Well, this one won't be any less disturbing. So, all the creepiness that one obviously would detect in the early episodes going on between Princess Rhaenyra and her Uncle Daemon, played by Doctor Who. So, no, yeah, that wasn't just thrown there just to not be returned to at any point. No. I mean, I still think she certainly had some sapphic affection for her best friend. That was broken up when her father took her best friend as his second wife. So she's now her stepmother. So that's distanced them. Although they kind of come together friendship wise here. She still has concern for her. But the thing about House of the Dragon is that, well, who's the good guy in here? Well, because in Game of Thrones, you kind of did have that. I mean, certainly poor Jon Snow, all that, but here, there's really nobody. Everybody is, I mean, I suppose the king, he means well, but even he's corrupted by all of this stuff. I mean, he didn't want to take another wife, and he's very clear about that he feels like he's forced to do it for the position he's in and all of that. But boy, he's really taken a liking to his new wife now. Well, and of course, all of this, and he's very much aware of this, is all a manipulation because her father is his hand, and he wants her to be the link to more power. And of course, you have to assume with the creepiness between Rhaenyra and Daemon, no doubt, what went on there, the uncomfortable scenes between the hand and his daughter. So, I mean, you have to assume that. And the daughter is just like, well, this is my lot in life, and, well, it's my job to take care of the king, so... So what are you going to do? So meanwhile, after the last episode where Doctor Who defeated the Crab King, and for a second there I thought, oh, I mean, maybe they still will, that the Crab King isn't really dead, it's just someone else was in the mask. But for this purposes of this episode, it's done. He killed the guy. He won the war. And he shows up all victorious, and everybody's nervous, thinking he's going to hurt the king and whatever, but he lays all his I did it for you and all this sort of thing. And so they seem to be reconciled. He hugs him and invites him to stay at the castle and all that. Well, he zeroes in on his niece, Rhaenyra, and decides to take her on a magical journey to a whorehouse. And after dark, so he gives her an outfit to disguise herself as a boy, and it takes her to see some of the sights. They got some street magicians and all that, yay! And the next thing you know, they're in this whorehouse where everybody is just banging away, men on all these naked women, women on other naked women, naked men on naked men. Yeah. So anyway, well, Rhaenyra is all fascinated, and of course, this was all a part of Daemon's grooming practices, because she gets all horned up, and he busts a move on her, and she's all for it. Yeah, she's always had a thing for Uncle Daemon, better known as Doctor Who. And so he pulls her pants down. They're about to go out. They're making out and all this stuff. And at the last minute, he really can't do it. He kind of backs off. Oh, boy, this is too much even for me. So he leaves her there with her pants down. She's all kind of upset. He says, damn, that man just won't finish anything. And so she runs out after him and everything. But one of the hand spies sees this and so reports back to him. So now she's in trouble. In the meantime, she's all pissed off at Uncle Doctor Who. So she runs back home, and her night guard, is like, oh, what's wrong? Are you hurt or whatever? Well, she's all horny, so she drags him into the bedroom and has her way with him. Hey, he's reluctant, because, not just the ethics of it, but he gets caught. Oh, boy, it's all over for you, buddy. So she's no longer a virgin at this point. So the spy gets to the hand gets to the king, and the king is like, what? God damn it, and all this stuff. So he sends the maester over to her to give her the morning after pill in the form of some, elixir in the tea. just in case. Of course, she denies all this. The king's wife, her stepmother, her best friend, and her potential girlfriend says, hey, did this happen? And she's, oh, that's disgusting. I would know. And, of course, technically it didn't. I mean, it almost did, but it still shows that there's some serious incestuous desires between the two. And so at first the king takes it out on his brother, which he should. They drag him in, he kicks him in the groin and all this, and he did this to my daughter, so Doctor Who says, well, just marry her to me. And so the king's response to this is, but you already have a wife. Well, of course, he's referring to their own past, and that this idea of keeping the royal bloodline pure, well, what better way to do that than to marry members of your own family? And so that's what he's suggesting they do. But he's already mad at him for what he did. And he's like, you're manipulating me just like all the rest. But just that response is like, yeah, but you're already married. The response should have been, hell no, So he knows it happened. He's going to go with that it's not true. He once again banishes his brother back to whatever castle, the Vale that he occupies, But what to do about this? She's still his chosen heir. So he decides to lash out at the Hand. Now, the Hand is, of course, a creep and has been manipulating him, and he understands this. That's why he's married to his daughter. But he strips him of the office of the Hand. So it's not quite how the Hand wanted it played out, but what are you going to do? He has to put this on that this rumor, which has got to be going all over the place now, that it was just the Hand, trying to manipulate the king. Now, it's certainly considered an act of treason for him to spread a rumor about the princess like that, if that's where you're going to go with it. But, they'll try to keep it all hushed up and everything, saw the scenes from next week's episode. So the Hand's not dead yet. So he's still trying to push his daughter to save the family and all that. So anyway, then he turns on Rhaenyra and tells her, you're going to marry, the son of the sea snake, and that away, to align the house against other potential problems. And that's the whole thing. It could have been called Game of Houses, I guess, in this instance. So, but it is telling in this idea of them constantly going that this is in their past of incest, and they revisited this in the Targaryen family. Certainly, that's what happened, in Game of Thrones with the Lannisters. But here it's like, oh, that's why you're all crazy. It's not the dragon's blood. You're a bunch of incestuous weirdos. So there you go. As creepy as it all is, Rhaenyra was just, she was pretty aggressive once he initiated this. So it's not like, I guess, he lured her into there to get her all turned on, but still, oh man, just total creepiness, just all that, Plus, there's the added bit. I don't know how old these actresses are, but it looks pretty young, I mean, they had the strategic place stuff here and there, but still, really on the edge with that. But it does add to the whole creepiness, and this sort of thing happened in the medieval times and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess really the king is not really that great, but he's better than they are. But still, yeah, there's no heroes in this thing. I guess the dragons are. I guess them, but they're doomed to almost become extinct until, Daenerys gets her eggs, Oh, well. So, there you go. It's a side of Doctor Who no man should ever see. Yeah, it's still better than Rings of Power because it's creepy and weird and disturbing as it is. It's a story. Can't say the same about Rings of Power.